The Beach FM Business Lunch Show, brought to you by PlaceMakers Kapiti Horowhenua. Together we're building New Zealand.
Welcome back to the Business Lunch Show on Beach FM 106.3. Well, one thing that is happening in Kapiti is going to be the largest in the country. So to talk more about it, from Whale Song, it's Marco Zeeman. G'day, Marco.
Hi, how's it going?
Yeah, very well. How are you doing at this time?
Good. Enjoying this wintry weather.
Indeed.
Another wet day.
It's definitely changed. Goes up and down. Hey, mate, I'm not even going to attempt to try and explain what you guys are up to. So in your own words, what is Whale Song and how did it come about?
Mike Fuller, a local artist, visionary, was about 12 years ago, sat there and made 7 whales by hand. And thought, well, what a great idea for a sculpture, and started promoting the idea back then. It didn't get too far, mainly because there was a focus on ratepayer funding. But we've come along and formed a trust around Mike's proposal a bit over 3 years ago, and we've been going forward with the desire of no ratepayer funding. So we've been fundraising, etc., all the way through this, and also in negotiation with government and other funding agencies. So we're making quite good progress. As you know, we've opened up the Whale Song Information Centre just before COVID hit us in the Coastlands Mall. We've carried on. We did have to shut down for a period of the mall being closed, but as soon as we were able, we're back in there and had the biggest 3D printer in New Zealand back up and running. And we've just installed the 5th whale painted and on display in the information centre. So we've now got 5 whales completed of the 7. And the reason we're doing this on the big 3D printer is to proof them, to check any changes Mike's made in the 3D scape before we send these off to the foundry to be made in bronze in full size. So we're printing them at 1/10 scale in the mall. So if you want to see a humpback whale being printed, you should come along and have a look.
Wow. 1/10. So how big are these sculptures going to be when they're done?
They are between 8.5 metres and 24 metres long, of the 7 whales. And according to Sir Richard Taylor, probably one of the biggest bronze installations in the world when completed.
Wow.
We also believe that it may even fit World Heritage Site criteria once it's built, which would be a very exciting thing for Wellington.
Absolutely. Hey, how long does it take for the 3D printer to print one of the whales that you've been working on?
We're just printing the biggest one, which is taking about 30 days, roughly.
Yeah.
The printer's running 24/7, so we've had a few part replacements that we need to do. It's running constantly, so we've had the occasional stop, but we're about to crank up the next part down the mall today once I head down there this morning.
And knowing technology these days, every time you do a whale, there's probably something else to make the job easier for the next one.
It's not moving that quickly. We're bleeding edge already, so it's been a challenge, but it's been exciting too, and we've got a really good crew helping us. Case and Fern have been amazing, helping to make that printer work and get the whales out. Plus the rest of our team have gotten behind us, which is mind-boggling. We've got some of the biggest creatives in New Zealand supporting the project, which has been really, really cool.
So when it comes to 3D printing, it all comes down to the design that it goes into it and the background. You don't just print, say I want to print this and there. You actually have to put in, is it certain coordinates or whatever, so it builds it within the printer?
Yeah, it's a 3D file that we slice. You can imagine an MRI scanner when it scans you.
Yeah.
It slices you at whatever it is, 0.1 of a millimetre or 0.01 of a millimetre.
Wow.
Well, basically, we're taking a 3D object with a bit of software and we're slicing it. On this case, we're slicing it at 0.4 of a millimetre. And then the printer produces, the software produces the code to print each layer on top of each layer on top of each layer until the entire object is finished. So what you're seeing is a bit like watching paint dry. It takes a while.
It sounds
very exciting, though. We've had the interest in the malls has been amazing. In fact, post-COVID, it's probably been there's been more people in there, and also the support. I mean, the the notes made in our visitors book is just really cool. There's so much positivity about the project. And admittedly, the project has grown. It's not about just the 7 whales. It's about the Wharemakau stream, which we always wanted to engage with the whales. Basically, there's quite a piece of land in between the expressway and coastlands that's empty at the moment. And part of making that land available for commercial buildings, etc., and to bring more jobs, we need to create a wetland and lake area to handle all of the stormwater that's coming off our hill above and the stormwater generated by new buildings. So part of the project has grown to be including this wetland lake, which is really exciting because that was the vision of the artists, is to have water with the whales. And it's also evolved into a new cultural centre. The landowners where the whales are going, Puketapu Kapiti Horowhenua, have given us a 100-year lease on that site, and they're very keen to have some form of building that will tell the history and the culture and the story of Kapiti in a way that's not been told before. So that's a really exciting part of it. So we've got the Wharenui telling the Kapiti story. We've got the stream restoration project, and we've got the whales with the wetlands, etc. So it's a bigger project, and it's really going to set up all that land for development and allowing buildings to be built and then jobs to come, which is really exciting for the region.
So that just blows my mind. That's something that an idea that starts as a sculpture, little 3D printer can evolve into you're saving, our heritage, or restoring it. And we need a wetland. I wouldn't have thought that. Where do we find this information that we need to know to support this? Because it sounds like a no-brainer, and it's going to help the Kapiti Coast.
I think what's helped me look at the vision has been living up on the hill and looking down on Paraparaumu, and seeing all that land and going, right, there's numerous landowners involved. We all have to have a resolution around stormwater. So with Guru's assistance, we got all of the landowners into one room for the first time, and we talked about a synergistic plan for what is evolving with all of the stormwater lakes, etc. So we end up with something that is community-focused and not a whole lot of disparate little wetlands that don't have connection. Yeah. And of course, the stream at the moment looks a bit like a ditch, so it'd be really nice with the vision of some of the members of Puketapu are very keen to see restored to a bit of a forest walkway and a place for contemplation, and also a place for events and outdoor performances. So it's hugely exciting. We're going to end up with a central park in Kapiti that will produce jobs.
Wow.
And we calculate somewhere in the vicinity of between 1,000 and 2,000 jobs coming from the buildings that are already proposed for the area. That includes government regionalisation, etc. So that's hugely exciting, and I'm just amazed that it's sort of grown into this behemoth of a thing. But it's what was needed. I think we need a bigger picture plan, and try and come up with something that fits for everybody.
Well, it sounds like a no-brainer, all these positives. But have you had any kickback, roadblocks in the way?
No, not really.
Awesome.
100% positives coming through them all. I get lots of emails from people. It's hugely supportive of our Facebook page. Is another sign of people enjoying what we're doing. The amount of revisits that come into the mall to see progress. People are really engaged with the project. And the information centre has been integral to some really key partners coming on board. Jamie and Anne Selkirk from Weta came in and committed to funding one of the full-size whales, and which is impressive, and which is for them would be leaving a legacy for the coast and a long-term thing that really reflects what Kapiti was about many years ago in the decimation of the whales out there. And it's nice to see the humpbacks dancing in the channel. 1st of May we had a 8-metre baby dancing just off Barrett's, and was photographed by John Barrett's son. So it was pretty exciting to see that little baby frolicking and jumping just about clear out of the water. So there's lots going on, and along with Jamie and Anne has come Richard and Richard Taylor and Tanya, and they're supporting us with the sculptural aspect and creating the bronzes, which Richard has huge experience in. Most people don't realise how many sculptures Richard has produced around the world, and some of them are ginormous. So yes, it's good to have that expertise on board.
Absolutely. Hey, mate, it's been awesome sitting here listening to the story. But lastly, where can people find you? How can they get in touch?
They can come down to more. We've got booklets down there. My contact details are down there. I'm often down there as well as our volunteers. If there's just someone there that's manning the place, just talk to them. Or go on our website, whalesong.kiwi, and contact me that way. And if anyone is interested in sponsoring a whale or making donations, they can contact me directly as well, or go down and see someone at the information centre. We are still actively fundraising. We are also hopeful the government will kick in with some infrastructural funding in the near future, so that's quite exciting as well.
Oh, fingers crossed. I look forward to hearing all the updates. Marco, thank you so much for your time. Go well, my friend. We'll catch up soon.
No problem. Thank you.